ready?
Gonna launch this thing?
Yep, ready?
All right, yep. Today I am super excited to be checking out the 2023 Chevy Corvette Z06. So tell me about the car a little bit. How did you even get this car? I know they're super hard to get right now.
So we ordered this car about 3 years ago at Williams Chevrolet in Traverse City. Gave a deposit and had a contract with them to buy the car for sticker price. So
and it's the first one in Traverse City?
This is the first one in Traverse City, and from what I was told, the first one in northern Michigan. However, there's no way to confirm that, but if there is other ones in northern Michigan, it can't be more than 1 or 2 others.
Okay, so if you ordered it 3 years ago, did you even know like what you were getting into at the time?
No idea, other than, there was obviously all kinds of talk on the forums about, Z06 coming out, naturally aspirated. Flat plane crank was a lot of conversation because the prototype disguise cars, the guys that really know cars that are following these things around in the clown suits can hear the car and they could tell it was a flat plane crank.
Oh,
so that was a big reason, one of the reasons why we really knew we would want to buy one.
That's awesome. How long have you owned it now?
Just over a month.
In the little time that you've owned it, what are your first impressions on the car?
It's not like any other car I've driven. I have several other Corvettes, most notably a 2009 ZR1 that I've got 30,000 miles on the clock. And the best way to describe this car, it's like driving a video game, honestly.
Okay.
It's so refined, it's so computerized. There's so many different things that you can do with ride control, and the amount of electronics and the amount of technology in general make it feel like a video game to me, honestly.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing I would say about this car, most notably of all the things about it, is not necessarily because of the flat plane crank aspect, but the sound of this car is not like any other Corvette I have ever been in, even remotely. It's, the story goes, if you Google it, GM purchased a Ferrari 458 on eBay in like Poland or something. I forget. It came from some obscure place.
Okay.
They literally purchased the car and tore it, and like all the automakers do, they tore it apart and they designed the engine of this car around a Ferrari 458, which at the time was the most horsepower you could get out of a naturally aspirated 8-cylinder engine. So a lot of the DNA in this car is Ferrari derived, which obviously is the reason why there isn't other Corvettes that sound quite like it. It's just a very unique car. Even in the Corvette world, it's unique in my opinion, just because of that reason, and the sound of it, the way it drives, the way it feels. One of my very, very best friends has a C7 ZR1, driven a lot in that car, driven the car a lot. This car is just different than all those other high performance Corvettes from the past. Even the Z06, the C7, Z06, that car being supercharged. They just, my ZR1, my C6 ZR1, they just feel different than this car. Obviously it's mid-engine, that has a lot to do with it, but the sound of it and the feel of it and the smoothness of it and the way the power gets delivered, with the horsepower that it has, it's just very refined and very different from anything else.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they were sports cars, maybe even supercars, but now this is like, it's an exotic.
This car has finally now gotten to a lot further along and closer to the status of the European exotics, I guess I would say.
Okay.
Even my ZR1, in 2009, the car performed equally to the exotic, but it didn't have the fit and finish even still. There was still a lot more plastic inside of it. You couldn't order so much of the, tidbits, all the different attributes that you can order on some, like a Porsche or a Lamborghini or all these other cars. And now GM has finally gotten there. I'm not suggesting this car is a Ferrari, because some of that stuff is really, really high-end stuff.
Right.
However, this has gotten as close as we've ever come to it, and it's still outperforms most of it.
Yeah.
So that's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah, it can outperform a lot of Lambos and Ferraris out there.
Correct.
So I know we'll get on a drive here real quick, but how is this car actually spec'd in particular? So
this car is spec'd 3LZ package. We did not for the Z07, the track package. That would have added probably another, 15,000 or probably 20,000 with the wheels and the track package and all that stuff. But it's 3LZ basically, with a lot of other additional options added on to the 3LZ package.
Okay.
So the car, out the door with tax is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 148,000.
Okay.
So if you were to order a convertible, you would order, even like the 70th anniversary package, Z07 package, obviously you won't get that in a convertible. Z07 only comes in hardtop, but a maxed out car like this with all options is, I want to say, somewhere in the neighborhood of 170 to 175,000.
Yeah.
So in the realm of Z06, it's probably in the upper 2/3 tier of cost.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's still not, there's still room to go with it. And I mean, certainly if you bought a base model Z06, they're still great cars, they're still fast. You just don't get a lot of the trim and a lot of the features and a lot of the, you know, like GT2 seats. That's part of the 3LZ package. That is a big difference.
And those look amazing.
Yeah, two-tone interior. There's just a lot of things you get with 3LZ that you know, bump the price up considerably.
Yeah, and that's sticker price, and now it's nearly impossible to get it at sticker price right now.
I do not know many guys that have been able to buy this car sticker price, and I know 4 other people that have purchased cars, and I know guys that have cars on order and they're not buying them at sticker price, I can tell you that.
Yeah, seeing that these cars are now selling for like 100K over sticker price in some cases, are you tempted to sell it, or are you gonna hang on to it?
You know something? We haven't decided that yet, but I mean, we're a Corvette family. We love to drive these cars. You know, as long as the market doesn't go too far south with it, you know, we'll probably just keep it. So,
yeah, that's
you know,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Let's take it for a spin.
Cool.
That sounds amazing.
It's not as good as when it's cold, but it's fine.
And with every drive mode, I heard that all that changes.
Yeah, so right now I'm in track, that was track mode. I like track mode the best, I just like the way it lays out. So you've got, it even gives you the weather. You've got my mode, which you control yourself, which is custom. Then you go to tour, then you go to sport, and it slightly changes, you know, where the RPMs, you know, how the car shifts and red lines. And then the last one is track, and I like track the best because it gives you a linear tachometer on the top. And it puts the low RPM range in a smaller section, and it spreads out the RPMs at the higher section, which is kind of cool.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, I see you already broke it past the break-in zone there.
At 500 miles, the screen went blank and came back on again, and the red line completely changed from 6,500 to 8,500.
That's awesome.
It was cool. I wish I would have videoed it, but it was pretty cool.
All right, let's see what this thing's got.
If I'm gonna launch it, and again, I haven't launched it that many times because no miles, but
Right.
I generally put it into auto to launch it because the computer knows how to make the best selection.
Yeah, it just does such a good job. All right,
You ready?
gonna launch this thing?
Yep, ready?
All right, yep.
That was 100.
Oh my gosh. That was amazing. Oh man.
That feel fast?
That felt fast.
Does that feel
No, that was
faster?
fast.
Faster
That-
than the Lamborghini?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think it was. I feel like it was.
All these cars are really fast. I didn't get very good traction out of the gate with it, but and it's got traction control,
Man.
but yeah, I haven't really learned how to truly launch this car yet, but I will.
And the sound of that was incredible.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best parts about it.
It's, I mean, I'll put it to you like this. My 11-year-old son, he's ridden in my ZR1 often. And I think he likes my ZR, I know he likes my ZR1. But I wondered if he was much of a car kid. All he wants to do is drive this car with me right now.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he's a car kid forever now. I know it. And that's cool to me. I've never taken the traction control off on it. You know what? I don't want to wrap this thing around a pole.
No, no, leave it on. I'm sure it's amazing technology. It doesn't hurt the performance very much.
No. But remember too,
Probably helps it.
I am in track mode right now, so you know, the other thing, so you can put this thing, I'll show you, you can put this thing into sport mode, and it's got this Z button on the steering wheel, which is, it's called Z mode.
Okay.
And I don't know how that differs from track mode, but it makes the car perform stronger. I think that Z mode in the sport is like one notch below track is how I guess I would describe it. Look how it changed the dashboard again.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what that means, but if I take it off Z mode, it goes to blue lettering and stuff. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know what that's about, but you know, but then if I go to track, everything changes again, and it give you the linear tachometer. So.
Oh my gosh. What did they say the 0 to 60 time is?
2.6.
2.6 seconds?
That's what the factory says. I don't know. My ZR1 was like 3 seconds for a good driver.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever got a 3 seconds here. You're talking milliseconds. How are you gonna?
Right.
How can you know?
Yeah.
You know, that's maybe 4 or 5 wheel slips. You know what I mean? How do you know?
Right.
There's no way to know.
And I'm sure it's super responsive, naturally aspirated. You don't have to wait for the power.
Correct. You can still shift it even if you're in auto too.
Oh man.
So here you go. See now, that skipped the shift on me. Did you see that? That was weird.
I don't know. I did not notice.
I'm still getting used to this thing. I don't know.
Man, it just throws you back in your seat.
Yeah. The thing about this car is so smooth that when you compare it to other cars, like, you know, does it feel like a Lamborghini? Does it feel like these other cars? I don't know. It's so smooth, it's hard to know. Because it's so smooth. The power is so smooth.
Yeah.
My ZR1 feels like a sledgehammer when you drive it. It feels totally different.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is just rear-wheel drive compared to the Huracan all-wheel drive that I just rode in last week. It felt very similar, and that shocks me because it's only rear-wheel drive.
What about the sound?
Just from the factory, this sounds insane.
That's what everybody tells. That's all the things I hear about it, you know.
Yeah. And from the outside, I think it sounds crazier.
Does it sound pretty good from the outside?
Oh yeah, it sounds really good.
I've never ridden behind it yet, so I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man. It feels amazing in the passenger seat. The ride.
It's a smooth car for sure. Shifting, it's cool.
Oh man, no, that's great. Describe how it feels to drive.
Like I said when we first started talking, to me, this car, it's like driving a video. It's like a video game to me. I don't know how else to describe it. This car is easy to drive fast. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm used to driving a manual that has a lot of horse. You know, my ZR1 has 638 horse. So I'm used to driving a manual with a lot of power. And it's hard to get that power to the road and get the traction right when you're trying to launch a car like that. This car to me just seems so easy to drive fast. I don't know how else to say it. But when you look at all the computer controls and the way the paddles are and all the stuff on it, it just feels like a video game to me is how it feels.
Fair enough.
You know,
that's awesome.
The only way to describe it, really. My brother took this out for the first time 2 days ago.
Okay.
And he you know, he's not a car guy whatsoever. Cars for him get him to work and back. He doesn't care about cars.
Oh,
he didn't even think he wanted to drive it. So finally he's like, yeah, all right, I'm going to drive it. So he drives it. He came home, he's like, you know what? I think I want to drive that car. So, I mean, that tells me something, because it's not, you know, he's interested in it, and he's not a car person whatsoever. So it just goes to show you it's fun to drive. It's easy and fun to drive.
That's awesome.
How do you compare the inside of this compared to some of those exotics you've been in?
Like, I feel like the exotics, like a Lamborghini, is still more luxury.
Yeah.
With certain aspects.
Yep.
But I mean, it's a Lamborghini.
Right.
For a Chevy, I mean, Chevy has never been luxury. So this car is on the next level of luxury, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yep.
For Chevy.
If you're new to my channel and you're liking this content, I will be posting a brand new video every single week. So be sure to like this video and subscribe, and I will see you next time.